So you are welcome back to an extension of distinctive features, of course, which we have mentioned the importance of, where we are going to mention the importance of distinctive features. So we have three importance of distinctive features according to some scholars, and the first one is that the feature we want to talk about must have phonetic specifiability. So if you are describing a particular phonemes, of course you know that the phonemes must be in the subset, not in isolation like that of the normal phonemes. For distinctive features, I told you in the past lecture that we can combine different phonemes. It might be phonemes a, u in a subset. Then we will be looking for a particular feature that will capture the three together at once. The feature that we need to specify must go with the first phoneme, the second phoneme, and the third phoneme. The importance of distinctive feature is that if you want to specify, it must have that phonetic specifiability. You know, in phonetics we have acoustic phonetics, we have articulatory phonetics, and we have auditory phonetics. So in terms of auditory, the way you perceive it. In terms of articulatory, the way you pronounce it. And in terms of acoustics, the physical property of that sound. You have to consider that it is very important in distinctive features. Another one is that the language you want to work on must not be just, so to say, a local language that is not universally acceptable. So if you are working on a language that is not universal in nature, that is not complete itself, that people are still working on it, its orthography has not yet completed, you cannot work on search to get your distinctive features of those of the sounds in that languages. So in that wise, what I'm saying invariably is that the kind of language, you know, there's difference between dialect and language. Language is being spoken by the people of a community and it is widely acceptable. So once it is widely acceptable and it has that kind of orthography that resembles other languages of the world, it will be easier to predict and tell that this particular symbol can capture it. In case we don't have a particular symbol for a particular sound in that language, we can borrow a leaf from another language that has similar symbol of that. So another importance of distinctive features is that the language you want to work on must be universal one and must be a complete language. And lastly, the third one is that there's no third force when we are talking about distinctive feature. It's either the feature occurs, or the feature does not occur. There's no third force. Is that how you say it exists or it doesn't exist? So whether you have seen the feature there and you write it down that this feature present or absent. So no third force. Having understood this, you are coming gradually to the knowledge of distinctive feature. So subsequently, we are going to look at other aspects that we need to know when we are talking about distinctive features. We are going to look at, before then, we should be able to look at classes of distinctive features, and that is the classes of that distinctive features will take us back to the parameters we have learned in the phonemes. Remember the parameters we have learned in the phonemes? We talk about the state of the glottis, we talk about the place of articulation, and we talk about the manner of articulation. But for distinctive features, the classes of distinctive feature will have a major class feature, will have the cavity feature, will have the lip attitude feature, we have the length of stricture features, we have the secondary aperture feature, we have the manner of articulation feature, we'll have the source feature, and we'll have the airstream mechanism feature. For Yoruba, if I'm teaching my students or lecturing them, I do tell them that all these features, we can have them in Yoruba form. For instance, if you say the major class feature, I call it Bogi. Bogi. Bogi means that, okay, what we can identify the feature, the characteristics that we can find in such sound that is important, the most important feature that we can recognize from a particular subset, that one is the major class feature, or so to say, the kind of feature that can capture all the languages of the world at once. Whether you are speaking Arabic, whether you are speaking French, whether you are speaking English language, whether you are speaking Yoruba language, such features, they might be 2, they might be 3, they might be 4, they must capture all the languages of the world. That is, we call it the Bogi. So that is the major class feature. The second one is the cavity feature, which has to do with, remember your knowledge in phonemes. When we are talking about the organ of speech, I told you about the cavity. I said this is the buccal cavity. So the cavity feature has to do with the oral cavity, the nasal cavity, and the pharyngeal cavity. Anything that occurs there. So such feature will capture the cavity feature. And the third one is the lip attitude feature. You remember, the lip attitude has to do with this. This is the lip. Maybe you are having the protruding lips like this. Your lip is protruding. So, or you are having a rounded lips like or. You are having a spread lips. So all these attitude, we are going to look at them when we are studying the classes of distinctive features. The lip attitude, we call it ibi ishenupe, and that of the cavity we call it aja. So, and that is number 3. Number 4, we talk about the length of stricture feature, the length of stricture feature, the length of stricture feature or characteristics, and that is where we talk about yíyọ ahọ́n, ẹ̀yà ara àfọ̀, yíyọ ahọ́n tàbí ẹ̀yà ara àfọ̀, yíyọ rẹ̀. So that is what we mean by that. Then the next one, we talk about the secondary aperture feature. The secondary aperture feature, fífaragbá tán ná, fífaragbá tán ná. So the way and manner at which there is obstruction, there's an obstruction in the vocal tract that results into the shake of the glottis. So fífaragbá tán ná. So that is the next one. And the next one is the manner of articulation feature, which is we call ọ̀nà ṣẹnupe. Remember the manner of articulation, the place of articulation, the manner of ọ̀nà. Ọ̀nà means manner, what way, what form, manner of articulation feature. And the next one is source feature, which is the source where the sound is actually coming from in the terms of its voicing, whether it is akunyun or not kunyun. That is the voicing, whether it is voiced or voiceless. We take use of that. We take note of that also when we are classifying our features or characteristics when it comes to distinctive features. And the last but not the least is airstream mechanism. That is èémí lílò, èémí wo la lò. Is it aggressive or is it ingressive or egressive? E.g., aggressive. I N, in, aggressive. Which of the two did we actually make use of? So we are going to start off with the major class feature. The major class feature. I told you earlier on that virtually all the languages of the world will be captured when we are referring to the major class feature. In the next class, I'm going to explain that in detail.